Hi, it's Craig Metrowich, and I have the privilege of interviewing this morning Lynette from CHOC, from Childhood Cancer, and we've also got a survivor here. So, Lynette, tell us a little bit about, is this a friend or is this a hero? What do you got next to you?
She's both a hero and a friend. Today with me I have Giselle Pretorius. She is a childhood cancer survivor and a very good activist for CHOC. She's been working very closely with CHOC to bring inspiration to others who are still on the journey, and she's here to share her life story. Yes.
Wonderful.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you. I'm Giselle. As Lynette said, I've been in remission for 8 years already. And I started out, I thought I had a healthy life, if you're a kid, you want to play and have fun and everything.
Yeah, how old are you now? How old are you? You look very young to me, eh?
I'm 24.
Okay, fantastic.
24 years, yeah. So I have been in remission for 8 years. So I was diagnosed when I was 16 years old and with Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Okay, now for the people watching, what is that? How does it affect you? Okay, in layman's terms, what area is it to explain to us?
So it's basically from your neck down to your chest, basically, where you get lumps.
Okay.
That are good.
Yeah. And then, just a question. So on this journey, what we want to really share with our viewers is the hope side. Because, it's 8 years later. You look very healthy, so well done for that. Congratulations. But we are in Cape Town. We've chosen a venue where I think everybody will look healthy today at this venue. But on a serious note, so what can you share with us? What would you advise to people? Let's go a little bit back. How was it when you first found out? Like, were you like, wow, how can it be me? What were you thinking as a young person when you first found out? What were you thinking?
Yeah, I was quite young, so it hit me quite hard, as in, the first thing I was thinking, I'm going to lose my hair.
That makes sense.
That was a big thing, but also getting to understand what the whole my cancer story was going to be all about, and how it's going to affect me, how it's going to affect my family. And I knew my parents were like, strong, and just my mom at that moment when we find out, she broke down, and I was like, that was.
So you sound, without me knowing you personally, is you did have that support, and I think that's very important in times of tough times. You really find out, can your family cope to support you, and you also find out who your friends are.
Yes.
And being young, that must have been quite interesting, the dynamics of, who's going to be there for you emotionally and physically to support you.
Yes, definitely, and I think family support and friend support was a great thing in my life, and I had this one friend that was going through the same type of thing. She wasn't a cancer patient, but she also had an illness regarding her kidneys, and then we would have that same ground.
The same understanding, yes.
So I think that was also like a huge relief for me, and seeing that I had that person on my side, and I can talk to her about, I didn't feel so well today and stuff, and she could also tell me how she felt, and we were
Well, look, that's why I think that's why the journey, like my involvement with CHOC, for example, for over a decade, is what I've realized is it touches so many people's lives. I've got friends right now that are on this journey, that are battling it. So it's closer to home than we'd all like. We always think it's like some theoretical thing. Lynette, if you can come in here, just tell us a little bit about what are some of the numbers out there. You mentioned what's the ratio of children being diagnosed?
In South Africa, the statistics says that 1 in every 500 kids will be diagnosed with childhood cancer. So childhood cancer is still very much a rare disease, as how it's seen. So perhaps, as how CHOC views it, 1 in every primary school learner at your child's school will be diagnosed with childhood cancer.
Being a dad, I'll tell you, I'm very emotional when I hear that, because 1 is one too many. It literally is. And if you take a school, if you've got a bigger school, you're looking at 2 children in 1,000. And I know how kids influence kids. So having just one child that is battling and sick, And that child could be a prefect. That child could be a sports starts school, or creative. And today with social media and technology, look, the positive is we can rally around and support each other. But the negative is everybody in that school instantly is going to know that that child is at risk. Let's talk about just the recovery side. Is there hope for us? I mean, we've got a survivor here. So yes, there is. And just give us some other facts around what the process is. What should parents do if they think that there's something?
Yeah,
what should they do? What should we do as a mom and dad? What we should be looking for? Is there anything that can help us?
Yes, CHOC has CHOC, as well as the South African Children's Cancer Study Group, developed, as we call it, early warning signs. And the name that we use for it is the Saint Siluan early warning signs, because Saint Siluan was a Russian monk who prayed for humanity. And we've taken...
Listen, we need a few more of those right now across the world. Probably a few less politicians, I hope they watch this, and a heck of a lot more people that care about humanity.
We've taken the word Siluan, and then every letter is linked to an early warning sign. And because in children, childhood cancer presents itself normally as more than one symptom over long periods of time. And the word S, if we start with the word Siluan, the word S refers to seek help early. Once a parent picks up any of these symptoms, and as I said, it presents itself over a long period of time, then the parent must seek help early and try and get an appointment with a pediatrician or your local doctor in order to receive a referral to a pediatric oncologist at an academic hospital. Then the letter I refers to in CHOC and SACCSG, we refer to as eye when a child presents a white spot in the eye, a squint, a bulging eyeball, a swollen eye. Those are signs that should not be taken up lightly. And then as well, the letter L refers to lump. We all know as a woman it's breast cancer week this month.
Correct,
and lump should not be taken lightly. And even in a child's body, a lump, for instance, in the testes, in the glands, should not be taken up. Any form of lumps in children is not normal, and a parent should take it seriously. Then the letter U stands for unexplained. So if a parent feels that a child's had a fever for a prolonged period of time, over 2 weeks and longer, so there's an unexplained fever, weight loss, pallor, fatigue, the child's constantly tired, exhausted, cannot do sports because he's exhausted, even easy bruising, when the child bruises easily.
Yeah, and that is something that you can diagnose from a parent point of view. It's a tangible visual that you can notice.
Yes,
so I'm really glad you mentioned that. I didn't know that.
Signs, it's visual. So it's visual and presents itself as more than one symptom. Vomiting associated with headaches and easy bruising. Those are all symptoms that parents need to look at. But as I said, it should be more than one symptom, persistent over a long period of time. And then the N stands for neurological. So neurological signs such as, for instance, the milestones of the child. The child could, for instance, crawl or walk, and now
right. So the development milestones.
So the development milestones, and also when a child loses his or her balance, along with vomiting and along with headaches, those are signs that parents. And with CHOC, we have a SMS line. It's 34486, which parents can SMS their name plus their province. Once it's received, that SMS is received by CHOC, we will link that parent to an academic state hospital in their province where there is an academic pediatric oncologist on board, just to get a second opinion, because we believe every child and every family has the right to get a second opinion.
No, sure. And I think professionally as well, I mean, you know that I was diagnosed with a skull tumor. It wasn't cancerous, but yeah, it is concerning when you go, well, is that the right diagnosis? Do I need, and I would recommend that people do go for a second or third opinion. Why not? Yes. In effect, that, you know, people have different medical backgrounds and expertise and experience, so they might misdiagnose. You know, and really, Lynette, what I love about what you said is the fact that we need to be proactive. Is that what you're really saying? If you think there could be any of these things, don't wait, don't hesitate about it. proactively get your child, at least
and
checked.
also as a mother, me myself being a mother, you do feel at times that whatever diagnosis has been made, that you're not feeling totally at rest or at peace with the diagnosis.
Yes,
so
yes.
I believe that every parent, every mother out there, every gogo, every caregiver, get that second opinion.
Yes,
just so
yes.
that you have a peace of mind.
Yeah. So now going back to our survivor, and as I said, it's very difficult for me to do this interview, I'll be honest with you, because, I want it to be inspiring and I want it to be positive energy, but it is a serious topic to discuss, right? So I think, having somebody tangible that's been through this is any advice. If you look at the path you've been on the last few years, I mean, what maybe, apart from, look, we're not medically certified to give medical advice, okay, per se, but what was your personal experience? What would you recommend to friends? If a friend phoned you and said, listen, I think I've got something wrong with me, it sounds like similar to what you went through, what would you just recommend they do?
Firstly, I would say that they shouldn't be like too worried. Firstly, what am I going to do? They should first maybe just go and find out, like Lynette also said, go and maybe tell your parents. If you can't tell your parents, tell someone close to you, someone that you can confide in, that listen, I think there's something wrong. So if I'm the friend that you confide in and you want to tell me there's something wrong, I think it's something that you had with me, that the similar things that you had or symptoms, I would definitely say that you can let's do this together. And I also think it's important that if you have someone there with you going through it as well, then something is going to go well, or I don't have to worry about too many things. And I think to remain positive is a difficult thing, and I'm very spiritual also, and then I know always going back and speaking to a higher power or something that I know I can always this is going to help me through everything. It's not an easy path to walk, but with someone there, and support systems is so important. So
So yeah, I believe in that. Interesting thing. I always tell people I'm not a religious. I don't punt religion. I have got faith. We are conditioned in a different faith in the way that we were brought up, right? So that does influence us. But what I sincerely do believe in is the power of the energy, and that is a tangible and it's measurable. So, if you have that fighting spirit, and just for the record, this is the first time we're meeting, am I right?
Yes.
Yeah. And I feel her energy. She's got that fighting spirit energy. I can feel that. And I think that's what we need to share, is that if you go and sit in a corner and go, okay, I'm defeated, I'm not going to make it. The difference is by fighting, you might still not make it medically, but you might just make it the journey a little bit longer than what was expected. And I think that in itself would be a major accomplishment, because, life is about the highs and the lows and the ups and downs. Yeah. So I'm just going to wrap up now. Is Lynette, so anything you want to add in the conversation is, let's go back to, if you can sit both closer. Now you can sit closer together. I want you closer together. Yeah, you're making me very emotional recording this. So this is, for those that are wondering, this is probably one of the toughest ones I've done, but in a positive way, because I feel the emotion. So let's just go and give a wrap-up message. If anybody's got any doubts, what do they need to do now? How do they contact you guys? What's the right process? Step 1, 2, and 3.
Okay. To contact CHOC, if any parents had, as you said, any doubts, they can visit our website, www.choc.org.za. They can also scroll down on our website and